Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're looking at the Wednesday NBA slate. We have a monster 12-game slate tonight, so let's go ahead and get right into it. As always, appreciate it if you guys hit the like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Twitter at the DFS Process for updates. Post them like 20 minutes before lock, sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes if we're not having any news we're waiting on, sometimes an hour before. But you'll post the updates there on Twitter. And if you want to join us, you can visit the website. Looking back at yesterday was a low-scoring day on DraftKings. 260 was good enough to cash in all double-ups pretty easily. Missed out in tournaments by a few points. Had to make a late adjustment when Kawhi Leonard was announced out. And then FanDuel scored 320, which cashed in some, missed out in some others. But looking at tonight's slate, we got a lot of options today, so hopefully we can kind of crush it like we did a couple days ago. Starting off at point guard, you have a bunch of studs to pay up for. Count them, 4 guys above 10K, and Kyrie's checking in at 9,900, probably without Kevin Durant and without Harden, who is out indefinitely now. But looking at the most expensive guy is Russell Westbrook. He's 10.9. He played 39 minutes against the Thunder against his former team, struggled shooting the ball, only shot 5 of 18. Did have another triple-double, which is what you kind of can count on him every single night. He's a very solid play today. It's a great spot against the Golden State Warriors. It should be a monster total, and it should be a super high-scoring and fast-paced game. Luka is checking in at 10.8. I would definitely get to Westbrook over Luka today, just based on the matchup. Like, this game could be played a bit slower. Pistons play slow, whereas both Wizards play super fast, Warriors play fast, and both of those teams are very high-scoring. You have Steph Curry is 10.5. He's been on an unbelievable stretch in this month. He's averaging 40 points per game in, like, I don't know how many games he's played this month, but it's been like at least 15 or at least like 13 or 14. He's been amazing, making all of his shots, 50% of his shots from distance last few games, almost 60% last couple games. And against Washington, it should be a spot where he gets off like 25, maybe even 30 shots tonight if he wants to. As long as he doesn't have a rusty shooting performance, I think he should probably hit you at least high 50s, low 60s again with the way he's playing. Fox could be a tournament option. He's 10,000 bucks, or even for cash if you want it to be different, because he only played 28 minutes. They probably didn't. I mean, they were losing that game at the end. Coach didn't want to put Fox out there when they knew that he was on a back-to-back against the same team. So he only played 28 minutes, which is the least amount of minutes he's played in any sort of close game. He's usually getting 37 to 40. Had a bad shooting performance as well, 5 of 17. You hope that he corrects that for tonight's game. If he does, probably will go back to putting up 50s and 60s. And then Kyrie's also in play. If I had to rank the guys at the top, it probably would be Westbrook is my favorite. And then probably Curry, Fox, Irving. Not really looking at Doncic today. And then in the 9K range is basically just Trae Young, and Lillard said he's going to play today. I don't want to play Lillard at 96. Trae Young, I don't want to play him against the Knicks at 92. McCollum, if Lillard is back, I don't want to play him at $8,800. And then these Toronto players, I'm probably just going to fade them. They're not on the injury report. Van Fleet's not on the injury report. Siakam, Lowry, but they're all healthy, and with who knows what they're going to do. They could just play those guys like 20-something minutes and just roll guys like Flynn out there for a bunch of minutes. So with the price tags not being super reasonable or super favorable, I'm not looking at Van Fleet. I'm not looking at Lowry today. I would rather go down to Malcolm Brogdon. The Pacers are banged up today. There's no Sabonis. They could be without, I mean, they're still without Turner for a while. And they could be without a couple of bench guys like Doug McDermott is questionable. And the backup center, or the backup center, Batadze is also questionable. So looking at this team, you're going to see a lot of usage for Malcolm Brogdon, $7,700. You'll see a lot of usage for Karis LeVert, $7,600. If Jeremy Lamb plays, he would probably get you good minutes tonight as well, at least in the low 20s. So the Pacers are one of the teams you want to look to. Right now, a guy that you know will probably start again at power forward is Brissett here, the former Toronto Raptor. He got up to like 25 minutes in his last start. Played pretty well, averaged about a point per minute. Fine, it's a really good spot against the Thunder. They play no defense. The Pacers should be able to put up north of 115 points as long as the guys that they put in can hit some shots. I do think he's one of the better value plays right now at only $3,100. And then if there is no Batadze, Sampson will get you probably start at center. He could be viable. Batadze plays, he looks pretty good at $4,200. And then the other guy that I really like are the two studs, LeVert and Brogdon. Both similarly priced. I would lean to Brogdon just because he'll have the ball in his hands a little bit more, be able to facilitate. And last time he shot 20 times, only made 5 of them, but he was playing pretty well before that. 46, 55, 41, 63. And he's going to have to shoot a lot. You'll see him take 20-plus shots. Probably you'll see LeVert take 20-plus shots. So those two are the main offensive pieces that you want to target. So back to point guard, it's definitely LeVert and that $7,700 price tag, who I do like. Other pivots are John Wall at 77 as a very contrarian play for low ownership. If the Grizzlies are shorthanded, if they're missing Brooks, you can look to Ja Morant. I do like Mike Conley at $6,800. Really good price tag. It's a really good matchup against the Rockets. There is no Donovan Mitchell, so we'll see Mike Conley just be able to do a little bit more offensively, be able to shoot more. Probably will take at least 10 shots, most likely like 13, 14, 15 shots. He's had 3 straight games of 10-plus assists, so a pretty reasonable shot to get a double-double without Donovan Mitchell there. And the matchup is just so appealing against Houston, who play really bad defense. The Jazz are very good offensively. And Conley, as long as this game is close, it's on the road without Mitchell. Hopefully John Wall plays well, so they keep it close. If it is close, you'll see him play 32 to 35 minutes, and at a very good price tag, he probably has 40, 45, even 50-point upside. So do like Brogdon at that price tag. I like Conley. Other guys in this range here, it's not a lot. I mean, I'd rather go Conley than Clarkson. In the 5K range, you can look to Kobe White at 56. No Zach LaVine still. He'll probably play somewhere between 30, 33, 35 minutes. He's a pretty good fantasy player when he is out there. Gets some assists, he takes a good amount of shots too. He's not the best shooter. He's been struggling this season shooting, but it's a good matchup against Cleveland. He's at a good price tag. He's also in the mix, probably my favorite 5K point guard. And then hopefully Jimmy Butler plays. Hopefully Bam plays, so we don't have to worry about them. I think Bam is playing. I think it's questionable. Yeah, so hopefully those guys play. And then for value at this position, if you need to go cheap here, see DeAnthony Melton. If there's no Dylan Brooks, looks pretty appealing. Composite looks fine. $4,500. Ricky Rubio. Is Ricky Rubio $4,800? He's super affordable. I mean, there are already a good amount of cheap plays at point guard, so I don't know if you need to, but that is a very nice price tag to take a shot in tournaments for a guy that does have a good amount of upside. Moving on to shooting guard, it's Kyrie at $9,900. Durant is technically still questionable for this one. If Durant's out, Irving looks pretty appealing at $99. But I would rather go Paul George. Hopefully Paul George plays on a back-to-back. I know sometimes they keep him out on back-to-backs. He did play 37 minutes last game. But if he does play in this one, he would be a very good play against the Grizzlies with Kawhi Leonard already ruled out. They said they're going to reevaluate him in a week. So hopefully Paul George suits up today, because if he does, he looks very good at only $9,300. Other guys at this position are, I'd rather go Paul George than Bradley Beal. In the 8K range, there's nobody that I'm looking at, particularly 7K range. It's Karis LeVert as my favorite. It's Edwards as a fine option, $7,100. 6K range, nothing that I'm looking at too much except for D'Angelo Russell, who was on pace for a monster performance. Still ended up getting there, but he's still not playing a lot of minutes, but he still looks very good at this price tag in this sort of matchup. Mentioned yesterday was a great option for tournaments. Of course, I didn't end up getting to him, but I think you definitely could do that today. If Dylan Brooks plays, I don't mind him at $5,900. Just been playing pretty well recently. Gets you some defensive stats. And if Brooks is out, he can go to Grayson Allen. And then there's just so many options today. We'll definitely get hit with a lot of news, so just prepare for this slate to kind of make a left turn. But that's kind of it right now. I mean, Paul George hopefully plays. The game is tipping off at 10 o'clock. There are a couple of other 10 o'clock games, so we can make a pivot if he ends up not playing. But hopefully we get that news early in the day. Small forward, it is Doncic, 10-8. He's behind some spend-ups for me. I'm not looking to him, so fade that. Price tag, I would probably go down to Michael Porter Jr., even though he's getting up there in price. Just like the way he plays a lot of minutes. Barnes at 71, I don't want to pay that much for him on a 12-game slate. Looking at some cheaper plays, 6K range, you have like Joe Harris if there is no. Durant, he looks okay. We have Barrett at a good price tag. But none of those guys really stick out. For value, you have plenty of guys that are cheap if you wanted to take a shot and go cheap at this position. You have Bridges, only $4,700. Patrick Williams looks pretty appealing at his price tag. He plays a lot of minutes. No Zach LaVine. He isn't super consistent, but he's a guy that will probably hit value at $4,400 in this sort of matchup. And then you also have, if you wanted to save $1,100, you can go to Garrett Temple, who is only $3,300 at a very good price tag as well. Power forward, it is Brissett as right now the core value piece. At the top end, Randall's 10-2. I won't get to him at that price tag on this slate when I have a lot of other guys above 10K that I like. Michael Porter Jr. is fine at his price tag. You can go down to a Jeremy Grant below 7,000 is an okay price. And then for value, you have Gordon is only $5,500. The Pistons are Grant is back. Plumlee should play, so I'm not looking at Josh Jackson and the rest of those value pieces. I like Patrick Williams, maybe Carmelo Anthony at 43, but with a Lillard back, that will take some usage. But the guy right now is Tillman. Tillman, as you can play him, I'll plug him in at the forward spot because probably will occupy the center for a stud. Tillman, really like the fact that we'll get to him in a second, but I like the fact that Tillman is power forward eligible for a guy that plays center and gives you a lot of upside. Speaking of centers today, there's a lot at the top end. You have Jokic, Embiid, Towns as your three main pay-ups. I'm going to go with Jokic in this matchup against the Blazers. Jokic just going to have to do so much more offensively without Jamal Murray. He's really going to have to facilitate it. Gives him a lot more opportunities to get triple-doubles, get you more rebounds, probably get you a lot more usage as well. 11K, still, I think, at a fine price tag for him to hit value against Portland. It should be a higher scoring type of game, one that plays at a pretty fast pace. And Jokic ended up putting up 58 against them earlier this year. I would not be shocked with a similar performance, if not a little bit more out of Jokic. So he is my favorite center of the day, especially if Simmons and Tobias play for the Sixers. And then the other guy is Tillman as a value piece. He is only $4,200. You have to go with him at a very good price tag without Valanciunas, and then potentially Jaren Jackson make his return, but they're going to limit him severely after he's not played in over a year. So he's going to be very limited off the bench, but I do like Tillman right now at $4,200. So that's it for the DK side. We're probably going to get a lot of changes on this one, but hopefully Paul George plays. I like that price tag. The Pacers are right now the team to target with them missing Sabonis in the front court. And then you have some value on the Memphis side with Tillman. You have some more value on the Bulls side with Temple, Patrick Williams. You can go to Batadze from the Pacers side. And that's pretty much it for the first look. So let's go ahead and jump over to FanDuel. Okay, on FanDuel point guard options, once again, it's absolutely loaded. You have Luka is up to 11K, then Westbrook, then Curry, then Fox. I like Westbrook the most, then probably Curry, Fox, Doncic. Kyrie in 9K range looks very appealing, especially if there's no Durant. He would be a really good price tag to get to. Brogdon looks amazing right now at $7,500 without Sabonis in this matchup against the Thunder. Probably will put up at least 40, upside in the 50s and 60s. Conley, I think, still looks appealing at $7,000 if Ben Simmons plays. He's only $6,900. Morant's affordable. Really good price tags across the slate here, across the position on FanDuel. Kobe White is of cheap. Hopefully Butler, hopefully Bam play, or else we'll have to look at none. We'll have to look at Dragic. And that is the main guys. Teo Maledon, only $4,600. That price tag is getting really cheap for him. Maybe if there's no Lou Dort, he looks a little bit better, but I like considering him. But right now I'm going to go with Brogdon just because without Sabonis, there's just so much usage and opportunities to be had. Already missing Turner. At shooting guard, if Paul George plays, he is the best spender. Bradley Beal's a little bit cheaper if you wanted to save some money. I think you can go Beal and George, or you can go Beal and LeVert. But Beal at 85 is probably the best point per dollar play. In the 7/6K range, don't really see anybody in the 7K range. 6K range, it's Russell, it's Barton. 5K range, it's Dylan Brooks for sure. It's Tyrese Halliburton at $5,200. And then in the value range, it's Shamet, $4,800. Grayson Allen, if maybe there's no Brooks. And it's kind of it. Yeah, that's mainly it. I mean, Bullock looks okay at 38. I don't really never want to play him, but he's been getting it done because Alec Burks has been out. Alec Burks has been out for COVID issues, and if he's out again, he will get you some more minutes, but he's not a guy I'm looking at too much. Small forward, got a couple of questionable pieces here. Butler looks amazing if he does play against the Spurs at 93 as a really good spend up. You can save some money and go to Michael Porter Jr. You can save some more and go to a Anthony Edwards at only $6,900. I like Kyle Anderson at this price tag. Only $6,300. It's a really good price tag for a guy that plays a lot of minutes. He's productive and he kind of contributes in all aspects of the stat sheet. And then we have Lou Dort at 57. We have Buddy Hield at only 58. Barrett at 58. All those three of those guys look appealing. If Dort plays today, I think he looks pretty solid. He's been getting you a lot more usage without SGA. Last time out, he put up 21 in the first quarter. He's been hitting a lot of his shots. He looks impressive. But I have to go with Buddy Hield at this price tag. It's just really affordable. And one of the best matchups you could ask for. Other pieces, I mean, you could go to Bridges if you wanted to, or definitely Joe Harris at $4,600 if there is no Durant like we would expect. You have Temple is somewhat affordable, Bazemore is somewhat affordable. Buddy Hield, pretty good price tag for him, $5,800 if you wanted to go to him. If not, I think probably Harris is the safest option, but I really like Hield. I like Dort in that range. So for now, I'll plug in Joe Harris, assuming Durant doesn't play. If Durant ends up playing, then I'll probably go up to a Buddy Hield. Power forward, Randall is $10K, Siakam $87, then you have Porzingis, Christian Wood. None of those guys look that appealing here. Randall's, you need 60 out of that price tag. Siakam, you need at least like 50. Porzingis has been struggling at times with the shot, so he's not super safe. And Wood has a really tough matchup. So I'm looking maybe at a position to spend down a little bit. Like Harrison Barnes, only $6,000. He looks appealing. Baisley is $6K as well. Wanted to stack this game up a little bit. I definitely think that is something that you can do. And then it is Aaron Gordon is only $5,100. Good spot against Portland for him to do some damage. Tillman is $5,000. So he did bump his price tag up a little bit, but I still do like that price tag on Tillman, especially without Valanciunas and with Jaren Jackson Jr. if he does play, will be severely limited. So looking at Tillman, he played 41 minutes. 10 of those came in that overtime, so probably got you at least 31 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and put him in. Even if he gets me 30, he has value. He has upside for a lot more than that. And then center is a spot to pay up for. You have Embiid, Towns, Jokic. All three look like great spends. Towns on a back-to-back, so I'll probably go Jokic, Embiid, then Towns. You can go down a little bit to a Rudy Gobert. If Holmes plays, he looks appealing, assuming he's not limited. And then Whiteside looks fine. But Tadze is expensive, so he's not that much of a piece that I'm looking at. And then Plumlee, they've been giving Stewart some more run, so I don't really want to pay $5K for him. So I'm going to go with Jokic. I just like the price tag on both sides. He gives you a ton of upside, ton of usage. Everything looks appealing, and you still get $57.75 left. So that's it for the first look at this slate. And I say first look because I'm sure on a 12-gamer we'll get hit with a lot of news. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit the like before you head out. Best of luck tonight, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow.